Hey guys, it's Raleigh and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you guys who do not know, I was on a study abroad this semester. I just posted my first video about it, which I will link up here, and you guys can go see. I was in Jerusalem this past semester, and let me just tell you guys, it was so amazing. It was so incredible. I don't even know if I have adequate enough words to describe what this experience was, but I wanted to make this video because I want to give a little bit of background to how this all came together. It was such a miracle and I want to remember that. Let's get into it. This all actually starts back in high school. I wanted to travel so bad. I saved all of my money one year, just like working, coming up with businesses to go on a youth trip to Jerusalem. It was a lot of other teenagers my age, and we basically went around the Holy Land and saw different sites that had to do with Jesus and the scriptures, and it was so cool. I was only there for like 2.5 weeks, but those 2.5 weeks changed my life. Something that I did while I was in Jerusalem in high school was go to church at a place called the Jerusalem Center. Basically, the center is a university. Students will go and study there for, say, a semester, kind of do what I was doing in high school, but for a little bit longer and a little bit more in-depth and like academic. I went there to go to church. They have a church service there on Sundays. Well, on Saturdays actually, because that's how they do it there. It was so, I just like had an experience there. I really felt like, wow, I want to come back to this place and like do this program for real. That was kind of like became a secret goal of mine. I kind of kept that in my heart. Fast forward a few years, I started university. I took a break and lived in Norway, which you guys know. I was fully locked in there, like completely immersed, learning Norwegian. At that point, the program had shut down, the one in Jerusalem, because of safety reasons and whatever else. Like they just had shut the program down, or at least paused it. I became content with the fact that I had already gone. So coming back to university after I lived in Norway, I started back up again and I didn't even think about it. It was just like, well, it was a good thing that I went when I was younger because now it's not happening. A few weeks into my semester back at university, I saw that this had opened up again for the following semester. And I kind of had this feeling that I needed to apply. And so I applied out of nowhere and lo and behold, I got in and I was going. And it was such a miracle. It was just like perfect timing, and there were so many other small things that went into it that got me to go. But that's kind of the backstory. So now I'm just going to do a quick overview of the program, what it is, what I did, why I was there. It's an incredible experience, and I don't know if I can do it justice by explaining, but I want to have this video so I can remember, and so hopefully I can explain a little bit to you guys about how it went down.
I got a big spear like a weaver's beam. Strela, Strela, Goliath, the king's all song, and he's back. Strela, Strela, Goliath's back. And he really is a giant. And he's working for his time.
Any fire on earth. The fire of the sun.
For access and exit, right?
Strela, Strela, Goliath's back. Goliath started talking kind of potty. Strela, Strela, Goliath's back. And then David sung a sing song. And he hit Goliath's face bones. And the giant fell down there.
Are you gonna have to have hearing aids now?
Most definitely.
Faith, you too. It's okay. What was that? It's worth it. What was that? What did you say? I can't hear you. I can't hear you either. She just apologized, but look how many stairs there are. Actually, it was less than I remember. Less stairs, but still a lot. I feel like the staircase that we did at the other church was way worse. It was, and it was actually like confined, which has stressed me out. Super twirly. Yeah. I think just as many stairs, but without breaks. Just keeps going, bro. It's 16 credits. You're living and studying and traveling all together with a group of 90 or so students. And you stay there in the university, and then you go out on field trips, and you have some free time, and you also travel a little bit as well. You take like an out-of-country trip somewhere. The main, I would say, objective in this was to follow in the footsteps of Jesus. I'm Christian, I was there with other Christians, and so we started all the way back in Abraham and learned, just like went through the entire Bible, Old and the New Testament, and learned the history and the historical context of the region and just like how everything played into each of those stories and to God's covenant with his people. And it was incredible. We got to visit a lot of places that were relevant to the Old Testament and to the New Testament.
Make covenants anew, and take upon himself the name of Christ, and remember him and promise to keep his commandments.
Jordan River. Jordan.
No, I actually don't.
That was only part of it. There was more. We took Old Testament and New Testament classes, but we also learned about current situation, the political situation. We had 2 different classes taught by local professors. We had an Israeli Jew who taught us the history of Judaism and the history of Israel. And then we had a Palestinian Muslim who taught us the entire history of Islam and the entire history of Palestine. We got historical context, cultural context, religious context for each of those. Then we got our scriptural context and learning the history of that. And so it was like all this interplay of like these 3 major world religions, super significant groups of people. Then there was still more. We also had like an archaeology field studies class. That one was focused on tying everything that we were learning together and like making sense with the land and the places that we saw. We would connect certain like events or certain concepts that we had learned about in class, and we'd go see them out in person. It was a grind, and it was a ton to conceptualize, but it was so worth it. I just feel like I barely even scratched the surface, even though I just spent 4.5 months living and learning there. Another amazing thing we got to experience was the local cultures. As you'll see in the video, we had an Arab culture night. We had local Arabs come and show us their traditional dancing and their music, and they made us this amazing meal with lots of different foods to try. We also got to meet some other local people that do the call to prayer. We all got to participate in wearing the local attire, which they graciously allowed us to participate in. And we got to end the night with some Arab dancing. Another amazing thing we got to do was a Passover seder. This is basically a Passover dinner, and we weren't there during actual Passover, but because this is one of the biggest holidays in Judaism, we got to experience what it's like with our local teacher. We did some traditional dancing that they do, and we sang some songs, and it was really cool. Some other things we did outside of our classes, because that was still only part of it, was service projects. We did quite a bit, and they were focused on helping children in Gaza. So we assembled thousands of kits to send to them.
Let's go. Here we go. There we go. Let's go.
And you were worried about being down by 4 points. What are the things that you're telling your team to come back from that 4-point deficit?
I would say, remember, it's never impossible to walk on water.
Goodness like a fetter, bind my wandering heart to thee.
I truly believe that you can read and see stuff on the media, but it's a completely different experience to live in a place and experience their cultures and their languages and their religious beliefs, interact with them and be taught by them, and it's just a completely immersive experience. I feel very blessed and grateful because I left realizing that there's so much that I don't know, but there's also a shared love and desire for peace and for coexistence, and it was a super cool experience.
Like 10 more weeks of this.
Anyways guys, that was my best attempt at explaining to you how this summer was. I'm gonna be posting more recap videos, but I hope watching this video kind of gave you a sense for what I was doing there. I captured a lot of fun stuff, but it was also a lot of work and a grind. But it was so worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that, and I'm super excited to keep showing you guys the rest of my summer because it does in fact get crazier. So stay tuned for that. But for now, subscribe. Let's be friends and leave a comment, say your name, where you're from. I'd love to get to know you guys. And som alltid, ha en väldigt god dag och gott att se dere. Ha det bra!